Alrighty guys, so what's up and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I thought it would be cool to like go back in time and review every single one of the planes I've ever reviewed here on the channel to celebrate me coming back to Aviation. So yeah, leave a like if you guys did enjoy, and without further ado, let's get around to today's video. Also, you guys might notice I don't review every single one of the planes I've ever reviewed here on the channel. That is because when I started RAMR, I was using my old PC and I switched PCs a while ago and I couldn't find all the files for the planes I reviewed. Sorry about this and hope you guys do understand. Alright, so how we're going to do this is I'm going to just be starting off with the smallest planes first, and then we're working our way up to the bigger planes. So the first plane we're going to be reviewing, because I think this is the smallest plane that I have right now, is Aviation's Bombardier Q400. I think I reviewed this like back in like March or April of this year. I could be wrong though. But yeah, this plane, I think I actually gave this like a really high rating when I originally reviewed it, because just like how nice the interior is. As you guys can see, there's just like so many details with like the overhead bins and mood lighting, and then like the divider right there, that's also really cool, and then like the stairs, and then also the cockpit. For some reason, yeah, the cockpit is pretty detailed too. I've seen better cockpits, but this one is still pretty good. And then obviously the exterior is also really nice. Like, I really love like all the decals that are on the plane that make it just look a lot more realistic than if it wouldn't have had any details on it, or I mean decals. And then also the propellers also look really realistic, as well as the gears. And then back here, the tail also looks really nice as well. For an overall rating of Aviation's Bombardier Q400, I will give this one a 7.9 out of 10. Let's move on to the next plane. Alright, so the next plane we have is Lolli's A320. Now, I reviewed this. It was a really long time ago, but I also reviewed this with the prop interior, but I couldn't find the file that had the prop interior, so I'm just going to review it with the normal interior. So yeah, moving around the exterior, and keep in mind, this is like 2 years old, so this is not a current representation of Lolli's work. Just wanted to point that out, but it still is really good. Like, there's so many like details, decals around the plane on the outside of it, as you guys can see. And then going inside, let's go inside. The interior, it's definitely not the best. Like, it is good, but again, I've seen better. Like, the overhead bins are literally just like mesh decals, and they're like really like low quality if you like zoom into them, but that's just like something on Roblox's sides. But still, I would honestly, in the cockpit, as you guys can see, it's pretty empty as well. So the exterior is like the thing that's best about this plane. So that's why I would highly recommend getting the prop interior add-on, which I still think it's for sale. It could not be. But yeah, for this one, I'm gonna give a 6.2 out of 10. Now let's move on to the next plane. Alrighty, so moving on to the next plane, we have Aviation's MD-80. Now, remember, this is one of the first ever planes I reviewed in my RAMR series. I think this was back in like November or October of last year. So this one was an OG review, but it still is really nice. As you guys can see, this is still probably one of my favorite MD-80s that's on the marketplace right now. I don't know if he still sells it. I think he still does, but it is really nice. There's so many like decals around the plane again, and the engines, they look super realistic, as well as the tail and then also the wings. And then if we go ahead and go inside, yeah, the interior is just amazing. I think all of Aviation's planes, like, the interior is just amazing. That's one of like the things that I love most about his plane. That little tongue twister there. But there's like cabin dividers here, and there's really detailed overhead bins, and then more cabin dividers, and then more cabin dividers, and then overhead bins, and then I think these are lavatories. Yeah, I think they are, but there isn't actually any toilets inside of them. And then if we go to the cockpit, yeah, this cockpit is like super detailed. I remember when I got this for the first time, because I used to like buy airplanes to use for my airline, because I bought Aviation's MD-80 before I actually started doing RAMR. So I bought this for like my own airline. I forget what airline it was, but I was like super excited when I saw the interior. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to buy this now. And I was just so excited to get it. But yeah, for this one, I would probably give an 8 out of 10, which is I think the highest I've given a plane so far. Now let's move on to the next plane. Alright, so the next plane we're going to be reviewing is Lolli 737. Now this one is also pretty OG. Not that. I think I reviewed it in like November, something like that. And I forget what I said about it, but this one is just like so cool. I also bought this for my airline, and I was super excited to receive it. So if you go ahead and look at the details around, the nose is like really detailed as well, and then the cockpit windows, and then the engines are also really detailed, and there's just so many decals around the plane that makes it just look so much better, including the gears. And I remember I used to be like obsessed with gears on planes, but the gears do look really good on this, jokes aside. And then yeah, the exterior just looks really nice in my opinion, and then also the wingtips on the end of the plane makes it look really much more realistic. And then if we go ahead and go inside of here, we can see that there's so many details. And there's also a built-in mood lighting system to this, and as you guys can see, the interior of this is just wow, this is amazing. And then if we go back here, there's more back here, but one of the things that I wish would be better is the cockpit of this plane, because yeah, a lot of Lolli's planes are just like, the cockpits are not really detailed, but I can probably see why, because you don't really see like the cockpit. Like if you're just a passenger on the flight, you normally like never see the cockpit, so it wouldn't really matter that much. But it's just still pretty cool to have planes that have a really detailed cockpit, like Aviation's MD-80 for example. But yeah, I would give this plane honestly an 8.2 out of 10. This one is pretty darn good. Now let's move on to the next plane. Alright, so moving on, we have Lolli 757. Now this one, I remember I actually, it was my first collaboration in the RAMR series, because I reviewed it with Tom GD. So this was, I think, back in like November of last year. So this was probably a special plane to me, because it was the first ever time I did a collaboration in the RAMR series. So yeah, moving around the exterior of the plane, the decals look super great as always, and then so does the tail and the wingtips at the end of the wing, and then so do the engines. Like the engines are just like super detailed, and it has like the Lolli logo right there. And then moving inside of it, yeah, the interior is just amazing. Like there's cabin dividers right here, and then more cabin dividers and FA seats right here, and then just overall the mood lighting and the overhead bins just look so great. And then back here we have really detailed stuff where like the FA like get their food and drinks and stuff, and then more FA seats back there. And then if we go to the front of the cabin, yeah, there's a mood lighting system right there. So this thing comes with the mood lighting system, so that's like one of the pluses of this. The cockpit once again doesn't look detailed like at all, but again, that's just like how Lolli does his planes, I'm assuming, because like again, you don't really see the cockpit of the plane much if you're like a passenger in the flight, but if you're like a staff member of the flight, like the captain, that would be a different scenario. But I would give this one honestly an overall 8.7 out of 10. This one is pretty good. But now on to the next plane. Alright, so moving on to the next plane, we have Aviation's A350. Now this one, it's just amazing. Like this is CSG, so like you can see there's like a little bit of rough edges right there, but that's just like the problem with CSG sometimes. But yeah, if we're moving around, it's pretty good. It's like massive for some reason, like in size comparison. That's the 757 and this is the A350. It's really big. And then the tail also looks really nice, and then so do the wings, and then I also like the A350 decal on the end of the wingtip. But going inside, let me see, what's the interior like? Yeah, so one thing I just don't like is just like how you like come inside of here and it's just like open and there's no like divider to like the cockpit. I would love if he would like add that, or if he did when he originally released it, that would have been pretty cool. But like the actual interior of this is amazing. I remember when I saw this for the first time, I think I also got this for my airline too. I was like, oh my gosh, I was just stunned by the interior. Like it is just amazing. Like I really love how he did like the pattern with the mood lighting. That is just great, and like the curtains also look really realistic. That's really cool. I really wish you could just like click the curtains and then it would close. That would be something that would be really cool to add along with the divider to the cockpit. Then back here, yeah, there really isn't anything back here, but I believe the cockpit, yeah, no, the cockpit isn't detailed like at all. But yeah, the only thing I would say is just the cabin divider, and then like you would be able to like click to open or close the curtains. But overall, I would give this plane probably an 8.1 out of 10. It's pretty nice. But on to the next plane. Oh man, does this one bring back so many memories. If you guys didn't know, if you guys have been like watching the channel for a long time, you would remember this. This was Lolli 787, and I did a collaboration with I think it was Mr. Bulls fan and Tom GD. And it was like a RAMR Christmas special because someone made like a Christmas livery on it, which I couldn't find, unfortunately. I tried looking for it like really hard, but I couldn't find it like anywhere. But yeah, this one was just like it was a really cool review. I had a really fun time reviewing it with Mr. Bulls fan and Tom GD. But this one is also really detailed. As you guys can see, moving around it, there's so many like decals. Like I know I say that a lot, but there's like actually a lot on this one. Like this is just a mind-blowing. And the engines are also really detailed, as you guys can see. And then back here we have the Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner decal, which also looks really cool. And the tail also looks really nice. And then going over here, the wing also looks really nice. Moving on to the interior, I believe that was one of my favorite parts. Yeah, the interior of this is just amazing. Like I love how open it feels. Like that's really cool. And then like the overhead bins, again, Lolli killed it. And so same thing with the mood lighting. It just looks so great. And then we have some, like you have a whole like section back here that's just dedicated to like FA, which is really cool. And then we have some FA seats back here. And then moving up over here, we also have another FA station right here, and then another FA seat right here. And then yeah, the cockpit isn't detailed at all because again, it's not really necessary, but it is a cool addition to a plane. But overall, I would give this plane probably, honestly, 9 out of 10. This is a really nice plane, and I really like it a lot. On to the next plane. Alright, so moving on to the next plane. Apologies that it's like in the air. I wasn't able to like rotate it so that it wasn't in the air. It's just like a glitch with it. But yeah, this one, oh my gosh, this was the first ever plane I reviewed on my channel. So dang, this one is nostalgic for sure. If we go in, yeah, the lighting's a little bit glitched, but the interior usually looks really better than what it does. And then I believe the cockpit, yeah, it's not really that detailed, but going to the interior, or the exterior I meant, there isn't that many actual like details besides like the doors and stuff. There actually isn't that much, and of course the engines, but other than that, it doesn't have that much decals, which I wish it had more to like make it look more realistic like Lolli's planes does and stuff like that. So this one I would honestly give a 6.5 out of 10. It's not the best, but it's still pretty good. But on to the next plane, and last but certainly not least, Lolli 787 Edition X. Now this plane, I remember seeing like Lolli having it in development, and I was so excited to get this. Like I was so excited when I finally got it, because this was again when I was running an airline. I believe it was actually called Luxjet. It was back in like August of last year. It's like a year ago is when I got this. And just wow, this plane is just amazing. Like circling around the exterior, yeah, the exterior is great. It's basically the same as the 787 over there, so I'm not going to spend much time on it. But the interior, what a bang, what a boom. Like just look at this. Oh, this is the main part of it. Or actually this is the main part of it. And then yeah, the cockpit isn't much detailed, but the actual place where the passengers sit is really detailed. Like if you sit on any of these seats, you can like recline them back, because there's like custom GUIs made for them, and there's also a GUI made for this. I forget what it does, and then there's also some right there, and there's just like the overhead lighting. It just looks so luxurious and amazing. And then over here we have like the main sitting area where you can like order food and eat food and stuff, and it just looks so realistic. And there's a fireplace right here. And then back here we have the bathroom, which is amazing. Like just look at that toilet. The toilet is obviously the best part of the plane. That is without a doubt. And then the bedrooms are also really cool, because there's like a thing right there where you can like open these or close them for privacy. So it is just really cool. And there's another bedroom back here, which you can do the same thing with that. And then all the way back here, there's just like a little poster that says designed and made by Lolli Roblox. So this one, honestly, I think would take the cake. This one just blew my mind when I saw it. When I saw it release, I was just wow. Like how is that even possible on Roblox? Like well done to Lolli. This plane definitely does take home the cake, though. I would rate this, honestly, a 10 out of 10. Like, there's nothing bad about this. Like, it's fully animated, and it's super, super detailed on the exterior and on the interior. It's detailed to another level, and there's so many, like, things that are animated inside of it, like the chairs and stuff, and it just looks amazing. So I would highly recommend picking this plane up if you do, like, if you are, like, a luxurious airliner, or if you're looking for just like a luxurious plane for your first class or charter flights. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap up today's video. But yeah, guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys all so much for watching. As always, if you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like, because it helps out a lot. Some guys aren't into content I'm here on the channel. And if you guys aren't, be sure to subscribe, because it helps out a lot since we're on the road to 800 subscribers. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys all in the next video. And until next time, bye guys!